Hi everyone, my name is Justin. I purchased this 94 Chevrolet Corvette about a month and a half ago. And it's so far been a project car. I've been kind of changing a couple things here or there and learning about the vehicle myself. My car knowledge before I purchased this vehicle was, basic maintenance and so on and so forth. But after having it, I've definitely learned a lot, and there's a really, really great community behind these cars. And even if you buy one to fix it up and run it later, you could pretty much find a fix for everything on here and a lot of great suggestions. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this video today is to kind of give back. I've seen a lot of posts about people wanting help and asking this question, how to fix this, how to fix that, posting their issues with their cars, and then once it's fixed, nothing. They don't know what the solution was. They just kind of go off the face of the earth, and you have all these people that are giving you help, and you don't end up kind of letting them know, hey, thank you, your solution actually helped me fix my car's problem. And it's really sad that you can't do that. So I've had a lot of suggestions on what was wrong with my headlights, and I didn't even have to really ask anybody. I just kind of searched on Google and kind of learned on my own. So both these headlights on this Corvette that I purchased was actually not working very well. And so I'm going to kind of share a couple of the fixes and procedures, kind of past the basic stuff to fix it, kind of what to look like. So I'm not going to really be going over how to take the headlight apart, how to take the motor apart. I'm just going to kind of go over a little bit of basic stuff and what I found to fix my headlights on my 94 Chevrolet Corvette. So the issue on this left one, so when I purchased the car, this left one would not go up, period. The motor would run, so I knew that you were getting electricity over there, you were getting voltage, but it wasn't turning. So with these headlights, and I'm sure you could find this from basic Google knowledge, is you can actually manually open them through these knobs right here. You can actually turn it, and it'll actually manually open your headlight. Now it takes a little bit, but your headlight will start moving. As you can see, it'll start moving up and down. So if you're having headlight problems, the first thing I would do is to test that motor in there by turning it. Now inside there's a gear and there's bearings. Okay, either one of those issues can be a faulty gear or bad bearings. And I'll show you what I mean by bad bearings. This was the bearings that were in that left headlight. Okay, they're supposed to be, wish I had one to kind of show you in comparison, but they're supposed to be a little more circular. Definitely not rubbery. So these might have been the factory ones. So those bearings that are in there, if they look like that when you open that piece out, your bearings are bad. Now to get to the gear and the bearings, and you can find this information online, really easy, even YouTube videos. There's a great video on how to repair the headlights out there. Just YouTube it, it's a great video. How to take everything apart. But basically 4 bolts underneath, take it apart, and then you have to take apart that left piece. I never did it before. I didn't have a lot of car knowledge on how to do a lot of these repairs. It still only took me about an hour and a half to get it all put together. So the bearings were bad in that, and I changed out that, and sure enough, headlight works great. Now this one on the right is a little complicated. It was working, but only half and half. And what I mean by half and half is that I would open it, and it would sometimes go up, sometimes not, but even when it did go up, it would only go up halfway. Now, just buying the car, I had other issues with it that I wanted to fix, and the headlights were second to it, so I was still running it around with this broken headlight, and it was only going halfway up. So I decided to dig into it and try to fix it, and the very first thing I did, once again, is I twisted my manual headlight motor right there. When I twisted my manual headlight motor, I was able to raise it up and down, but it kind of seemed like it was a lot more work than this one on the left after I fixed it. So what I ended up doing is I ended up opening it up, and the plastic gear, remember there's gears and bearings in there. The bearings are bad in that, but the gear was okay. but the gear that was in here looked okay, but it still wasn't turning as good as I wanted it to be. So I ended up changing it out for a metal gear. Once again, I bought this online. They're really cheap, about 20 or 30 bucks for both lights, the gears and the bearings. And I popped that in, and sure enough, it ended up turning a lot better. The second thing I noticed that was wrong on this headlight was this metal arm right here. Now if you notice, this metal arm kind of looks a little tight, but it does have a little bit of play. That one over there did not have any play, which means it was really snug, really tight. In between these arms are washers. I don't know if you can really see that very well. So there's about 3 on this one, supposed to be 3. There's about 2 on there. And then the one at the bottom, about 2 on there. Now, there were no washers on this when I bought this car and I tried to fix this headlight. So what I did was I went to Lowe's, and you could buy little nylon washers for about 90 cents, and then you cut it and you could slide it right on there. Now, I'm sure a lot of people out there are going to say it's not going to last long. It's fine. Once again, I was just kind of making repairs as I go to try to fix that. Now, that wasn't the issue to why it was not going up and down. That was not the issue. After I repaired those washers, the headlight was going up and down perfectly with the hood open, but with the hood closed, it would only go halfway up. So that made me believe that the headlight was brushing on something. So if you're pretty confident in your gear and your brushings, the next thing I would look at, especially with this left side of the vehicle, is if your headlight's rubbing on something. You can check this by looking at the headlight itself. You check all your corners to your headlight and look all around. And sure enough, I noticed my headlight was a little jacked up right on the side. Now, you can play with it and kind of move stuff around if you want, but what I did is I rubbed a little turtle wax on the side of the headlight there, and I closed the hood, and I ran it up and down 2 times, and I knew whatever it was brushing up against, it would spread that wax to it. And sure enough, there it was right there. So this is your coolant overflow tank, and that's your coolant overflow pipe. Now what I found was this clip right here that holds onto that pipe was all the way up. So it was lifting this pipe to about here against this rail. The clip was still in place. It wasn't all the way fastened onto this rail right here, but the pipe itself was all the way up to here. So what was happening was it was brushing against that headlight with the hood closed, this piece right here, and it wasn't able to let me shut my headlight or open it up all the way. So I pushed this clip all the way down, pushed this all the way down into here because that wasn't there, the little buckle, and sure enough, closed my hood, headlight works great. So once again, this is from about a week and a half of just kind of dinkering with it in and outside of work and my personal life. So a lot of great communities out there, a lot of great posts. The Facebook groups for the C4s are awesome. You post something on there, they'll tell you all about, how to fix it. But just make sure if you do fix it, take it from me, share back to the community, say, hey, this is what I did to fix my car, and share somebody else that might find that in the future would be very appreciative of it. So once again, thanks for watching my video, and hope this kind of helped you out.